Francis Gruber was born in 1912 in Nancy, Lorraine, in the family of an artist who specialized in stained glass. From his childhood, he was surrounded by the bright colors of glass and the shadows that played on the floor of his father's workshop. This environment was full of light and art, and it became the first inspiration for young Francis. The family moved to Paris when the boy was only 4 years old. In the French capital, where every corner breathed with art, Francis's talent began to develop rapidly. Studying under the guidance of his father and neighboring artists such as Monet and Braque, he was able not only to master his technique, but also to learn how to experience life through paint. Paris became a source of inspiration for him and a home where he developed his art, achieving his first success at the age of 18. However, his life was not easy. He was a man with deep emotions which often reflected in his works. His studio was filled with familiar objects, each of which had its place in his art. An old table, a red armchair, several garden chairs, and constant motifs: a lizard, a large carpet, a crow. These details not only filled the space but also served as a reflection of his inner world. Already at the age of 18, Gruber achieved his first recognition at the Autumn Salon of 1930. His works, which were initially saturated with romantic motifs influenced by Bosch, Dürer and Grünewald, were characterized by deep psychology and inner drama. It was an art that reflected not only the world outside but also the world inside, often dark, full of anxiety and melancholy. Francis was a man who combined two opposites: a serious, work-oriented artist and a cheerful, sociable optimist. He valued time spent with friends, but when it came to his work he gave himself to it completely, not tolerating distractions. His studio became a world where only he and his art reigned supreme. Francis created his paintings in conditions that could have broken anyone else. Working in a poorly heated studio, exhausting hours spent at the easel when the model was about to fall over from fatigue. But for Gruber, it was a way to find harmony between himself and the world. His works, full of loneliness and melancholy, reflected not so much tragedy as the beauty of the human soul, its struggle and hope. In 1937, Gruber began to create a series of landscapes imbued with the atmosphere of an approaching thunderstorm. These paintings were characterized by an unusual combination of nature's tranquility and hidden danger. A year later he met Alberto Giacometti, and their friendship influenced the further development of Gruber's work. He turned to the theme of a lone figure in an interior, which became a symbol of human isolation and alienation. Friends, please support us with likes and subscriptions for regular content, and thank you for watching us. His works, illuminated by the cold twilight light, impressed viewers with their depth and tragic mood. They reflected not only the artist's personal experiences but also the social mood of the time. The broken Europe that was being rebuilt after the Second World War was reflected in the exhausted and depressed figures on his canvases. No wonder he was called the founder of the Miserabilism movement. Gruber not only lived by art, he literally gave himself to it without a trace. Exhausted by tuberculosis, which gradually took his life, he continued to work with unquenchable energy. His studio, filled with familiar things: an armchair, old chairs, a carpet, and a lizard, became a world where he embodied his inner tragedies and joys. Interestingly, despite the gloomy mood of his works, Francis himself was an extremely cheerful and optimistic person. He loved fun, meeting friends, but when it came to work he immersed himself in it completely. His working day started in the morning and lasted until late at night. The model who posed for him was often exhausted, but Gruber could not afford to waste a single minute. Francis Gruber left an indelible mark on the art world. His works have become a symbol of the post-war period, full of pain but also hope for recovery. He was an artist who was not afraid to embody his deepest fears and experiences on canvas, turning them into art that touched the most intimate strings of the human soul. Gruber died at the age of 36, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire and fascinate. His studio, where all the things that witnessed the birth of his masterpieces are kept, has become a place of memory, where the spirit of the artist who burned so brightly but died too soon lives on. Thank you very much to all the regular and new viewers who watched the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I invite you to subscribe and join our community of art lovers. See you soon.